Nobody touched the trigger. That gun fired all by itself. And that's not a movie effect. That's a real defect in a real gun people carried every day. Here's the thing most people get wrong about reliability. They think it's something a gun has, like a price tag or a caliber. It's not. Reliability is what happens when you combine a specific gun with specific ammo in a specific setup in your specific hands. Change one piece and the whole equation flips. So today I'm not just listing good guns and bad guns. I'm showing you exactly how carry guns fail, so you never become the test case. Let's start with the guns that can hurt you before a bad guy ever shows up. The Taurus GX4. On paper, it looked like a deal. High capacity, low price, decent grip. Then, in 2023, Taurus put out a safety notice because some of these could fire when dropped. The striker block, the part that's supposed to physically stop the firing pin, was getting stuck in the fire position. Owners pulled their slides off and found the block jammed forward. A safety part that doesn't do its one job isn't a feature. It's a countdown timer. Hard no. Same shelf, different problem. The Canik Mete MC9. Canik makes solid full-size guns, but shrinking the design caused a nasty habit. Failure to return to battery. The slide grabs the round, pushes it most of the way, then stops just shy of locked. Trigger's dead. Gun's dead. Canik shipped replacement springs, but a lot of owners said the new springs were stiffer and didn't fix the timing. When your fix needs a fix, that's a deeper problem. Now let's talk about guns that aren't broken. They just carry baggage you'd better understand. The SIG P320, civilian version. I know this one starts fights in the comments, so let's stick to the record. There have been multiple jury verdicts over guns that allegedly fired while holstered, with nobody touching the trigger, including multi-million-dollar awards. And it's snowballed. Chicago PD, Houston PD, the Washington State Training Commission, and as of last year, even ICE and an Air Force command have pulled or paused the P320. SIG stands behind the design, and that's fair. But for inside the waistband carry, pressed against your body all day, with no manual safety, you owe it to yourself to think hard about that one. Tell me in the comments, does the verdict count change your mind or not? The Kimber Micro 9. Beautiful little 1911 style gun. Around $700. But the tight tolerances that make it shoot great also make it allergic to the exact thing carry guns live in. Pocket lint. Sweat. Carbon. It wants meticulous cleaning and heavy oil just to run right. A carry gun should be the most forgiving thing you own, not the most needy. Moving up to guns that are genuinely good, with one asterisk each. The S&W Bodyguard 2.0 in 380. 12+1 in a gun that size is honestly wild, and it tames recoil better than any 380 I've handled. But early units had a steep feed ramp that choked on certain defensive loads, and plenty of owners ended up polishing that ramp with a rotary tool just to get it running. Great gun, once it's sorted. Out-of-the-box reliability shouldn't be a project. The Glock 43X. And here's where my whole argument comes alive. Stock. With Glock's 10-round mags, this thing is borderline flawless. But almost everybody drops in aftermarket 15-round steel mags the second they get home. Those thinner steel walls change the angle the cartridge feeds at, just enough to cause failures to feed when your grip or slide speed varies even a little. Same exact gun, you changed one part, and you changed its reliability. That's the lesson of this entire video in one example. Now the Workhorses. Proven. Trusted. With quirks worth knowing. The S&W Shield Plus. The trigger's excellent and it eats just about any ammo. The catch is the magazine spring. Loading that last round is a wrestling match. And that heavy spring tension can drag enough to make the first round hang up. Annoying. Not dangerous, but real. The Ruger LCR Revolver, one of the smoothest double-action pulls out there. And, being a revolver, it doesn't care about limp wrists or hollow point shape. But in .357 Magnum, The recoil's so violent, it can yank a bullet forward out of its case and lock the whole cylinder. Run 38 Special, and the problem vanishes. Again, the gun isn't reliable or unreliable. The combination is. Up near the top now, guns that don't ask you for anything. The Springfield Hellcat and Hellcat Pro. Hammer-forged barrel, beefy recoil setup, and independent testing has run these past 12,000 rounds with no broken parts. The trade-off is a snappy recoil and a slide that's a little stiff to rack if your hands aren't strong. Now, the S&W 432 Ultimate Carry in .32 H&R Magnum. The internet calls this the perfect pocket revolver, and the concept is brilliant. 6 rounds where a .38 holds 5. Way less recoil. Solid ballistics. But here's where I break from the crowd. A respected revolver reviewer had one fail inside about 600 rounds. For a gun you'd stake your life on. Great concept, shaky execution isn't a top-tier endorsement. Promising, but prove it past 1,000 rounds before you trust it. The Walther PDP Compact. This one's just overbuilt. The step chamber design literally seals carbon out of the action. The extractor is a tank, and the trigger breaks clean. The only real downside is it carries a bit wider and higher, so you'll dress around it. And finally, the ones that set the standard. The SIG P365 family, the Standard, the XL, the X Macro. This is the gun that crammed 10+ rounds into a single-stack footprint and rewrote the whole market. After they fixed some early firing pin issues, the track record's been about as clean as it gets. Rental units have crossed 50,000 rounds. It's the best-selling handgun in America. And that fire control unit system lets one serialized gun live in a tiny summer grip or a big winter frame. Earned its spot. The Glock 19 Gen 5. Around 34 parts total. Fewer parts means fewer things to break. And this thing runs identical with the cheapest steel case junk and premium hollow points. In heat, dust, or mud. It's the global benchmark for a reason. And special operations units worldwide carry it. And HK, the VP9 SK, and the new CC9. HK's cold hammer forged barrels hold accuracy way past most guns' lifespans. And the CC9 went through full military-style drop, dust, and mud testing before it ever hit shelves. People have run thousands of rounds through it with no cleaning, no oil, 0 stoppages. That's the ceiling. So here's where I land, and it's different from every tier list you'll see. Don't ask, is this gun reliable? Ask, is my gun, with my ammo, in my setup, reliable? The best gun on this list becomes a paperweight with the wrong mag or the wrong load. And a modest gun, left stock and fed good ammo, will run forever. So now I want to hear it. What do you actually carry? And did it land where you expected on this list? Drop it below. And if this changed how you think about even one of your guns, send it to the buddy who swears their setup is bulletproof. Hit subscribe, because next I'm tearing into the ammo side of this, the defensive loads that fail more guns than the guns themselves. Stay safe out there.